Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/thebarn. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thebarn.
Hello, my name is Jason Lowry.
And I'm Mark Toti.
And this is the Parkland Podcast.
Coming off a great St. Joe Parish picnic, looking forward to the 4th of July. It is great to be back with you once again.
Oh, man, and we have a great show for you as well. From bear hysteria to gator mania, the latest on a 20-inch alligator living in Bonne Terre Pond. Landlords and renters could see some changes with an ordinance involving inspections in the city of Farmington, and it's grant time for recipients of funds from the United Way of St. Francis County. Plus, we're going to talk to St. Francis County Sheriff candidate Jasen Crump and Mineral Area College President Dr. Joe Gilgore, all coming up on today's edition of the Parkland Podcast. Want to make sure we thank our sponsors, and we have some new ones to introduce today as well. Parkland Pharmacy, Nicholson Heating and Air, Subway, new to the Parkland Podcast, Discover Farmington, as well as the Farmington Water Park, and of course, Jerry's Fireworks. More information about these great sponsors coming up in the podcast. But I want to start with a busy weekend for you this past weekend at the St. Francis County Fair. You were all over the place. How was your time there?
It was great. It was great. First and foremost, job well done by Discover Farmington and everybody on the St. Francis County Fair Board. Had a wonderful time. Did not get a pie in my face. Clint Price, Mr. Save-A-Lot, he got that honor, and Tim Morgan got a bonus pie in his face. And Clint finished first in the fundraising for the Help the Hungry Bake Sale. Tim came in second. I came in third. But I was able to raise a couple of $100 for the United Way of St. Francis County, which was always good. But we had a lot of good sports. People raised money for great causes. And then Tracy Bird put on one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Well, how was it like introducing him? I know it's not your first rodeo when it comes to stuff like this, but there's rules you got to follow. There's always somebody from the sound team that meets with you before the announcement is made and goes over things. And one thing that would have got stuck in my mind is I would have been telling myself as I walk up there, don't say Tracy Lawrence, don't say Tracy Lawrence, don't say Tracy Lawrence. How did you handle all that?
Well, I had the pleasure of introducing him about 20 years ago when he and Terry Clark were in concert for Country Days in Farmington, and I remember him as being just a very laid-back guy, very easy to get along with, and nothing had changed, and he didn't look like he had aged at all over the past 20 years. In fact, he remembered playing in Farmington 20 years ago at Country Days, which was really a cool thing. So, yeah, all in all, some of the artists are a little more difficult than others. That's another maybe not so totally awesome story for down the road. But Tracy Bird was a joy to work with.
I know it was always like drilled into my mind anytime I've ever done one of those. They're always like, don't touch the mic. All you DJs like to grab the mic and pull it off. Don't touch the mic. Did you get like any specific instructions like that?
I asked for permission.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, go ahead and grab the mic.
Oh, wow.
No
okay, cool.
But I introduced 4 or 5 different bands that night. And we really didn't introduce Tracy Bird. We we did a soft open. We got up there, thanked the sponsors, welcomed everybody to the crowd, and said, coming up next in about 5 minutes, Tracy Bird, and then he did his own open.
Okay, he's got like a like theme music, walk-up music,
got
and
a
stuff
set
like
thing,
that.
yeah.
Lightning, thunder, all those kind of things.
That was at the end of the show when they put on a wonderful fireworks display while he was wrapping up the show, and it worked out perfectly.
Oh, very good. So 150th annual edition of the St. Francis County Fair, a big success. Let's talk politics. Make sure you check out our polls on our Facebook page. Not so political this past week. We asked, what's your favorite 4th of July celebration, as we have really 4 big ones that happen in St. Francis County every year. Bismarck, Park Hills, Farmington, and Bonne Terre. And as of record time, Park Hills has a 1-vote lead over Bismarck right now.
Wow. Now, they do more of a, how should I say, of a festival kind of theme.
Yes.
Whereas Farmington, I think they're trying to change that a little bit this year. Farmington does, in years past, had just been doing fireworks, but I think they're going to grow on that a little bit. And I know the water park is also doing something too.
And we'll cover all that coming up when we check our events. Make sure that you like and follow our Facebook page, because that's where you're going to see our election night coverage. That's going to happen on the August 6th election. We will be live from the St. Francis County Clerk's office, and we're going to be giving you those live election returns on our Facebook page. Get excited about that. We'll probably be the first ones to tell you as that information gets out there. Election night, always an exciting night, and many exciting races that we'll eventually be covering here soon.
That's right, and a lot of the contested races involve the August primary, so you definitely want to be watching and listening.
Coming up again, we mentioned Jasen Crump, our latest candidate for St. Francis County Sheriff that we're going to interview. We have our Super Candidate Extravaganza Parkland podcast, which will be our July 15th edition. And thank goodness for Sherry Henderson and the folks at the Deloge Chamber of Commerce. They are teaming up with us to have their annual Pancakes with the Candidates. That event's on Friday, July 12th. We will be there, and we will be interviewing all the candidates that are there for all the contested races, both locally and on the state level.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I mean, if Trump or Biden show up, we'd probably interview them too, I would assume.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going there. I'm staying away from it.
Trying to stay right down the middle, baby. Super Candidate Extravaganza Parkland podcast coming on July 15th. Do you, Mark Toti, have a Toti-ly awesome radio story?
Well, I'm not sure how awesome it is, but I do remember a time going back into the late 1980s, early 1990s. I went to do a broadcast from the Jefferson County Fair, and I drove the station vehicle there, and 3 of my coworkers at the time made the trip with me. So, like, I'm working, so I'm drinking a soda.
Right.
My coworkers were not working. They were drinking other beverages. And suffice to say, they were enjoying more than one because they knew they had a ride there and a ride back. But they left their cups just kind of laying around the J98 broadcast booth at the time. And let's just say then Governor John Ashcroft comes by and says, "Hi, I'm Governor Ashcroft. I understand you'd like to do a radio interview with me." And I said, "Yes, sir, I sure would." So he puts on the headsets and we start talking. And all of a sudden I notice he's looking around the J98 broadcast booth where there's about 20 beer cups just laying around there haphazardly.
Yeah.
And I look at him and he looks at me and he does not have a very good look on his face. And in my mind, I'm going, they're not mine. They're not mine. I promise. They are not mine. But I just kept doing the interview, asking him about the budget, asking him about this. And in the meantime, he's just eyeballing all these empty beer cups.
I swear, this is just how I sound. I'm not drunk.
I turned out okay.
Right.
Not the best look for the station as a whole.
It happens, man. It totally happens. That is truly a totally awesome radio story. Want to welcome Discover Farmington to our Parkland podcast advertisers. They are more than you ever imagined. Discover farmington-mo.gov allows you to find out about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. You can find out about local events and even book a wedding or day trip on the site. Downtown Block Party is July the 5th, this Friday with Scotty Kemp. And then, of course, don't forget about Blues, Brews, and Barbecues happening September 20th and 21st. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com is a great resource to keep yourself in the know for events happening around the area.
Special shout out to Kristen White. She does a great job of keeping us informed of all the different events that Discover Farmington is a part of. And I try to make it a point to always go to those block parties because they are a lot of fun. They're a lot more laid back, say, than a Country Days or a Blues, Brews, and Barbecue, which is just involves big crowds. It's a good crowd, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot more laid back. Folks are just bringing out their lawn chairs. They're relaxing. They're getting something cold to drink, hearing some great music. They are a lot of fun.
And you can find out more information, discoverfarmingtonmo.com. And by Jerry's Fireworks, they're the ones that make your 4th of July party work. For over 60 years, Jerry's Fireworks has provided the area with beautiful displays and helped make the memories of summer. Visit Jerry's this year at the Leadington Superstore, right at the Leadington exit. Uncle Sam says, shop Jerry's Fireworks for the largest selection at the lowest price.
Looking forward to a busy time for Jerry's Fireworks.
Busy time for Jerry's Fireworks, no doubt about it.
Parkland Pharmacy is out to prove that local independent pharmacy is alive and well. We work hard at giving you an excellent experience every time you come to see us. We love what we do, and we would love to take care of you. There's no need to be frustrated with your health care. If you're tired of what your pharmacy is not doing for you, then stop waiting in line and come see us today. We have 6 locations across Southeast Missouri, so Google us to find the store nearest you or visit parklandrx.com. Parkland Pharmacy is a local pharmacy at its finest.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long, or a pretzel, and probably not a churro. They also said under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. Then we said, but we already made them, and they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Time for local news. That's brought to you by Nicholson Heating and Air. Fast, reliable, and transparent. That's the Nicholson way. Schedule anytime, anywhere online at callnicholson.com. They're the home of no dispatch fees. Nicholson Heating and Air. Later, Gator. Well, the Bonne Terre Pond Gator is still on the loose. After receiving reports from citizens who walk around the lake, city officials notified the Missouri Department of Conservation. City Administrator Sean Kay says a press release was issued, and walkers have come out in groves to see the gator. They believe the gator was an exotic pet who was dumped by their owner, between 18 and 20 inches long. Been a big topic of discussion. After the bears have been quiet, but now everybody's talking about the gator.
And that gator is probably a few inches longer by now.
Yeah.
And you know what's next? You know there's a progression here.
Right.
Next up, somebody's pet python will be spotted somewhere. You know that's going to happen.
Or the Parkland puma.
The Parkland puma.
We're going to get that out there now.
There have been reports of mountain lions at St. Joe State Park, from what I've heard.
Absolutely.
So why not?
There you go. Other Bonne Terre City news. City closer to building new sidewalks and lighting in the downtown area. The grant-funded project expected to begin in the fall and be complete by next spring. Farmington renters, they're there's an inspection ordinance working on a final draft. This Farmington City Council is working on a final draft that could change things there. They could pass it as is or put it out to a referendum vote. So basically what would happen is rental property in the city of Farmington would require an inspection every time the tenants are changed. The inspection has a checklist including hot water, smoke detectors, basic items like that. And this is something that the council will discuss, and they're either basically going to put out an ordinance, as this will be their second reading at their next meeting, or there's talk of maybe putting this decision ultimately out to the voters.
And the thinking, according to Tim Porter, is that they have similar things in place for industrial tenants, for commercial tenants, and they just want everybody to be on the same page. So when you come in and you want to either have your own rental property or you are a rentor, you know what's expected of you coming into it.
And that inspection fee would be $30 for that service. We told you last week that Chris Brewer leaving the assistant principal position at North County to take over the athletic director position. His principal replacement has been found, and he's a good one. Eric Schoenhart is the new assistant principal at North County. Jokingly put on his Facebook page yesterday, congratulations, you now control the city and the school.
I haven't had too many dealings with Eric, but everything I've heard about him has been positive. I am sure he'll do a great job.
Also let you know about Derek Wiles coming to Farmington last week, leaving Fredericktown. His position has been filled as well. Joby Sykes hired as Fredericktown's assistant principal and athletic director. Congratulations to young Joby.
I'll tell you what, multi-generational Joby Sykes, because his dad was a big part of the Fredericktown School District for a whole bunch of years. Joby's done a great job as a coach over the years, and he'll continue on to do great work. Also, I want to say thank you to Melanie Allen. She is the assistant superintendent of the Fredericktown School District. Her and Shannon Henson work really well together. They're a great team. But anyway, she is going to keep us in the know with some of the big things going on in Fredericktown. Our goal here, we're doing a lot of St. Francis County news, but we really want to branch out into Iron, into Washington, into Madison counties, and St. Genevieve, and some of the surrounding counties. She's going to help us with that from the school district standpoint. She's also going to visit with the folks at the Chamber of Commerce and some other movers and shakers in Madison County, and they're going to send us the news to help send you the news as well. So Melanie, not only are you a great human being, you're going to be a big help to us, and we appreciate it.
Some other things happening regionally. The Secretary of State's office has offered $381,000 for records management, and this is going to help out in a lot of different places.
Yeah, not offered, but actually awarded $381,000 plus for records management and preservation projects for the coming fiscal year. I thought I'd mention just some of the local groups that are going to be receiving funding. The Crawford County Recorder of Deeds, the Iron County Recorder, the Jefferson County Clerk, the Perry County Circuit Clerk, the St. Francis County Recorder, also going to be getting some money as well through this program. So quite a bit of local money being awarded through Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft's office.
We enjoy Lance Mayfield, his help from the Viburnum area. He is Mr. Viburnum, and he brought us our next story. Tell us about Love Thy Neighbor.
This is a program that Lance helped get together about 10 years or so, and they go out and they do great work in the community for people who are in need, and they're just wrapping it up as we record this. And he gave me a breakdown of some of the things that they were involved in. They had 200 volunteers that actually paid $75 to come in and work in the heat. They provided housing inside the First Baptist Church, 3 meals a day for everybody, and a bunch of other privileges as well. But to get to the nuts and bolts of it, they completed 61 projects that ranged from cleaning gutters, replacing total roofs, building new decks, sealing decks that they put on in years past, sealing driveways, painting houses, reclaiming yards, building ramps, and repairing leaks around flues. About 60% of their volunteers are youth from the local area. Each year, a group of youth and adults come from Sullivan to serve as their mission project. They also had a group of 25 people and youth who came from Pennsylvania that drove in to learn about how Love Thy Neighbor works and how they may be implementing the program back in their community. Very good stuff. Lance, you do great work in a lot of different areas, but this is a perfect example of it.
Fantastic. Some more great work facilitated this week, courtesy of your donations to the United Way of St. Francis County. This year's president led the grant presentation, and here's some video highlights from that happened on Tuesday.
Our very first agency is Habitat for Humanity. Next up, our next agency is Immaculate Conception. Also, the St. Francis County Community Partnership. Our next agency to receive money is the Bonne Terre Food Pantry. Thank you so much. And now let's bring up the Central R3 School District. Thank you for being a supporter of the United Way. For a number of years, we have been able to help out the helping hands of the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center. We're so happy to be able to do that again today. Thank you so much. And how about the Bonne Terre Senior Center? I love this time of year because I get to see Millie from Parkland Foster Adopt. Come on up. The Mineral Area College Food Pantry. All right, our next agency that we want to support this year is the Deloge House of Praise Food Pantry. Rocky Creek Youth Ranch. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all the great work being done with the West County School District. Thank you for being here today. All right, next up, we'd like to welcome up the folks from the St. Francis County Health Department. Our next agency is the Bismarck Church of God Food Pantry, a longtime supporter of the Farmington Ministerial Alliance. We love working with them, and they're our next agency to receive some funding. Oh, the Park Hill Senior Center. Sorry, you almost got 2 checks. And we'd like to welcome up to the stage here the St. Francis County Board for the Developmentally Disabled. Our next agency we want to support is the Farmington Senior Center. The Farmington St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry. East Missouri Action Agency. Rob, are you coming up, or are you just... Another agency that we've supported for a long time, the Elvin's Food Pantry. Welcome up the Southeast Missouri Family Violence Council. All right. I get to present the next check, and it goes to the good folks at the Life Center. Casa of the Parkland. Our next agency is Visions of Hope. And next up, the Farmington R7 School District. Oh, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you to the Bismarck Senior Center for being here today. The Good Shepherd Children and Family Services. So thank you all for being here, and we hope to see you all again next year. Have a great day.
So thanks again to everybody that made a donation this year to the United Way of St. Francis County. Almost 30 different agencies, as you saw just there, were helped thanks to your generosity through many, many different avenues, right, Mark?
Very many different avenues, from bell ringing to payroll deduction, something as simple as going and buying a meal from our featured restaurant with our Dine Out program for the United Way, couples night out, girls night out. But we need more help for the local United Way, where the money stays local, helps out different agencies. So if you would like to make a donation to the United Way of St. Francis County, we definitely could use the help.
United Way of SFC.org is the website. That's where you can go to get more information and find out how you can donate your time and efforts to the United United Way of St. Francis County. Got any cool news to tell us about? Cool news?
Just a story I thought was kind of cool. It comes out of Needham, Massachusetts, where 23 sets of twins graduated in June from a Massachusetts middle school. Now think about that. You're a teacher at Farmington.
I am, yes.
How many twins do you think you have at the school if you were just going to make a rough guess?
Well, I have two. I have the Parrott sisters, Helena and Hazel. But I know there are multiple. I would say there's probably, ballpark, probably 7 sets of twins at Farmington High School right now.
Well, how about that? 23 sets of twins graduating from the 8th grade at a school in Massachusetts.
Now, how big is the school? Does it say in the article or anything like that?
It does not really say.
It's not like, Boston, Massachusetts, or any. I'd never heard of Needham before.
Well, the principal says they normally have 5 to 10 sets of twins, maybe.
Okay.
So I think it's a pretty big school, but it makes up about 10% of its 8th grade class.
Oh, really?
Just
so,
twins.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Pretty significant, and I don't know, just a pretty cool story.
Do they have like some kind of nuclear facility nearby that like is splitting embryos or something?
I'll let you use that for a follow-up story.
Yeah, we can do some kind of Marvel movie
There you go.
about that. Deep in Needham, Massachusetts.
This time it's for real.
Local news brought to you by Nicholson Heating and Air. Fast, reliable, transparent. That's the Nicholson way. Schedule anytime, anywhere at callnicholson.com.
Imagine a home where every season feels just right. At Nicholson Heating and Air in Farmington, we turn that dream into your everyday reality. From frosty winters to sizzling summers, our expert team ensures your home stays perfect. Plus, with our easy financing options, comfort is more affordable than ever. Don't wait. Visit callnicholson.com or stop by our Farmington location today. Nicholson Heating and Air, where your comfort is our command.
Birthdays, anniversaries are brought to you by Nicholson Heating and Air. Fast, reliable, and transparent. That's the Nicholson way. Schedule anytime, anywhere online. Callnicholson.com. Mark Toti, whose birthdays do you have for Monday, July the 1st?
Monday, I want to say happy birthday to Jessica Mell. She is one of the newest members of the United Way of St. Francis County Board of Directors, and she is jumping in and getting involved in things right away. You can stop by First State Community Bank anytime this week, I'm sure, and wish her a happy birthday because she would sure love that. Your old buddy and mine, Dave Shepard,
yes,
had a birthday on Monday. Dave, I don't know how old you are. I know you're pretty close to my age, which means AARP is calling. And also, Angie Hafley celebrates a birthday. She used to live right up the street from me. She works at Sticks and Steins. She is just a wonderful gal. Very spunky, very spunky.
Happy birthday on Monday to Stacy Kay, Potosi High School teacher, and they recently asked her to start a digital media class at Potosi High School, and they're doing announcements now, and they're going to start live streaming some games and events, so exciting times for her. Ted Eaton, North County Board of Education member. Happy birthday, Ted. And one more thing about Diamond Dave Shepard, best wedding DJ ever. That guy was amazing to work with.
So how did he get the nickname Diamond?
Diamond, I don't know. I just always called him Diamond Dave Shepard, just like, Diamond David Lee Roth. It just has a nice ring to it.
Well, Diamond Dave, happy birthday to you, buddy.
There you go. What do you got for Tuesday, July 2nd?
Tuesday, just a couple of birthdays. Dawn Callbrier celebrates a birthday. I bring her up because I went to high school with her.
Cool.
So I want to say happy birthday to Dawn. And also my good buddy Rick Capias.
Yes.
Celebrating a birthday on Tuesday. Works out at the Mental Health Center. Does a lot of really cool things to help promote with the helping hands of the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center. So Rick, happy birthday to you. That's from your daughter and your son, your grandson, your wife, and all your family.
Awesome. I got one birthday for the 2nd, and that would be Barb Jones of Deloach. Doge. Barb, happy birthday to you from all three of your wonderful children. They love you very, very much.
Very good.
What about Wednesday, July 3rd?
Wednesday, Donna Womack, who is married to Dick Womack, who was the station manager at J98 for a whole bunch of years, celebrates a birthday on Wednesday. Donna, happy birthday to you from Dick and from your son and daughter and from all of us here at the podcast.
Yeah.
Also, Lisa Young celebrates a birthday today. She used to work at the Civic Center a long, long time ago. I see her working out every now and then. She does a lot of Juice Plus work and different things like that. Kelly Peno used to go to church with her back in the day. Bought a lot of Girl Scout cookies over the years from her daughter. And a happy birthday to somebody else I know you want to talk quite a bit about, Camille Nations.
Yeah, MAC Board of Trustees member, former Central music teacher. I always tell the story about when I was in high school and I had Mrs. Schleymeyer's a fantastic music teacher, one of the best around. Had to be to put up with me in high school. And we did a lot of stuff from the 20s and 30s. You know, our swing choirs would do like, put another nickel in the Nickelodeon, stuff like that. And we all got jealous of Central because Miss Nations was doing Beach Boys and Eagles, and they got to play guitars, and they were always super cool. But she's great, and great singer, great part of the Baby Boomer concert too.
She's also a pretty good deer hunter, from what I understand.
Yeah, and pickleball player.
Pickleball player, yes.
Yeah. I also have Misty Conway. Miss Misty has been the kids' preschool teacher at St. Joe's in Farmington for a long time. They all love her. Miss Misty is fantastic. And Aubrey Brewster of Bonne Terre, political junkie, loves the podcast and is loving all the political interviews.
Well, we love you too, Aubrey. That's all there is to it.
How about 4th of July? Who are your patriotic babies?
Patriotic babies, somebody we know quite well. Chad Speaker celebrates a birthday on Thursday. Former program director for J98 Radio. Now he's trying to match up to the standards you set at Unitech Career Center.
Very high standards.
Very, very high standards. Chad, happy birthday to you from your wife Kelly and your daughters. He has a daughter who is a lawyer, and he has another daughter who is, I think, eventually hoping to become a doctor, if I get that right. She had a bacteria or something she got to name because she discovered it.
Wow.
I could be wrong about it being a bacteria. It's something she discovered that she got to name because she discovered it.
We're going to have Chad on the podcast before it's all said and done, too.
That would be wonderful. Yeah. The only question I have for you, Chad, is how come your wife looks so much younger than you?
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
Good living. Got to be good living. Also, happy birthday wishes going out to Julie Powers.
Yes, the powerful one.
Yes, she is wonderful. She is a lean, mean Zumba machine. She is the first lady of Juice Plus, along with Rhonda Hubbard and Cindy Sebastian and a few other gals.
Dawn Fimler.
And Dawn Fimler, can't leave her out. She knows a lot about healthy living. And they make something, they call them balls.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Things.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird for me to say I really love Julie's balls.
Yeah.
But they're very good.
Delicious. They're very, very delicious.
She loves telling jokes about those.
I bet.
Marilyn Pathitas, happy birthday to you, young lady, from your son and your daughter and your family. Kay Thurman goes to St. Paul Lutheran Church. Happy birthday to you from your family, including your husband, Bob. Bob, there you go. Got mentioned on the podcast.
Yeah.
Brenna Leith celebrates a birthday today. She has a son who is like 6'8", and a couple of years ago, I did a fundraiser for Visions of Hope, and it was Inspiration on the Runway, and a bunch of us volunteers got dressed up in clothes from Dress to Impress, and we sauntered down the runway, and they thought it'd be really funny to pair 5'9", 5'9" Mark Toti with her 6'8" son, and he got a real big kick out of making me look really short. So happy birthday to you, Brenda. And And for a long time, the First Lady at First State Community Bank, Carol Rigdon, with the birthday on Thursday. Happy 4th of July birthday to you.
Also have Tiffany Roth. She is the nurse at Farmington High School. Happy birthday, Tiffany. Chuck Sevick, former Rotarian, did a lot of great work back in his days when he was with Redfield Collision Center in Farmington. Happy birthday, Chuck. And my old friend Tom Kernan celebrating a birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday.
What do you got for Friday the 5th?
Friday, the twins celebrate a birthday. These are two young ladies I got to know at the Farmington Civic Center, Morgan and Mackenzie Govro. Now, Morgan's now married. She's a McBride. But I would go into the Civic Center, and they'd give me a towel, and we'd sit there and talk and whatnot. And you couldn't tell them apart. They were like exact twins. So the only way you could tell them apart would be one would part their hair on the left, and the other would part their hair on the right. And that's the only way I could tell them apart. And I had to have my buddy Brian, who works at the Civic Center, he explained that to me. So today is their birthday. So Morgan and Mackenzie, happy birthday wishes to you. Melissa Washam Irwin, happy birthday to you. I used to work out with her a lot at the Civic Center, but I had to quit because she made me look so bad by comparison. But Melissa, happy birthday to you. And our good buddy Rod Denman has a birthday. Oh,
yeah, Coach Denman.
On Friday. I said once, I called him Hot Rod on the radio station birthdays. He goes, please don't do that anymore.
Brings back bad memories.
he's not sure he can live up to the
that's what it is.
Hot Rod anymore.
Hot Rod, baby.
But Rod Denman, happy birthday to you.
If you want to know gossip in Deloge, you talk to Scott Waller. His birthday is on Friday. Happy birthday to Scott. What do you got for Saturday the 6th?
Saturday the 6th got quite a few birthdays.
Okay.
The lovely and talented Ginger Williams celebrates a birthday. I know for a long time she was at the MCII Sheltered Workshop in Farmington. Happy birthday to you, Ginger. Ginger or Marianne? Taking Ginger.
Every time.
Anytime. That's right. Terry Klepsik, one of the beautiful Klepsik girls, celebrates a birthday this weekend, Saturday. Happy birthday to you, Terry. She is a school teacher. She was a school teacher in the Central School District for a bunch of years, and now I think she's in Kirksville. Jeff Jensen, longtime car salesman.
Barrett Jensen.
Celebrates
Chevrolet,
a birthday.
Oldsmobile.
That's right. Barrett Jensen, Parker Banks before that.
Banks, oh yeah.
And now he's in the St. Louis area. Happy birthday to you. Denise Boyd, you talk about a gal that knows how to work out. Happy birthday to you, Denise. She works at the Mental Health Center. And Connie Dansby celebrates a birthday today. You can catch her on Wednesday and Thursday at Buffalo Wild Wings and at Sticks and Steins. It's just a coincidence that I'm personal friends with a lot of bartenders.
Yeah, well, you know. My only birthday for Saturday is Dustin Gerstenslager, owner of the Corner Pocket, Pizza 101, Cigar Aficionado.
He is that indeed.
I think he's got part of Hub's Pub too, the Hub's Pub fortune.
He's also a new daddy.
That's right, yeah.
And he's really a good guy. And if you're not going to say Dustin Gerstenslager from Bonne Terre, you can't say that.
Why?
You got to say Dustin Gerstenslager from world famous Bonne Terre. That's how he
that's right.
always refers to it. But he's a heck of a good guy.
It was always fun listening to broadcasters try to pronounce Gerstenslager whenever they would come to the area.
I presented him with our 110% award. I had to practice. And you know what? The pizza is really good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At Pizza 101 South. But don't sell out the pastas there.
Yes.
I've had the pastas several times, and they are wonderful.
I have no birthdays for Sunday, the July 7th, so I'm relying on you.
Just got a couple. Connie Rollins celebrates a birthday on Sunday. Now, when I worked at the radio station, Connie was the person who probably called in more birthdays than anybody else. And one of my regrets of not working there anymore is I can't wish Connie a happy birthday on the radio, but Connie, I'll get you on the podcast. Happy birthday to you from all of your family. And Lily Horton celebrates a birthday on Sunday. And I've really gotten to know Lily over the past year and a half or two. Her mom and dad are the owners of Bailey Joe's Barbecue, and they have the hotel down there as well.
Yes.
They're big into Discover Farmington, and you'll see their food trucks at Blues Brews and Barbecue. You saw them at Country Days, and she is the workingest 21, 22-year-old girl I've ever seen. I think she works just about every day at the week, either at Bailey Joe's or at Sticks and Steins or somewhere else, but she's also just a really good gal.
Fantastic. Birthdays, anniversaries brought to you by Nicholson Heating and Air. Join the Premier Club membership. You pay just $99 a year or $9.99 a month, which works out to less than 30 cents a day. And you get all kinds of great membership things. The annual heating and AC inspections, a 15% discount on all services, no dispatch fees, automatic $50 discount on any holiday service. And that's if you are a Premier Club member with Nicholson Heating and Air.
Dylan Nicholson, thank you so much. Not only does he do great work, he's somebody, folks, you can trust.
There you go. Nicholson Heating and Air. Fast, reliable, and transparent. That's the Nicholson way.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
Let's talk about events now. That's presented by Discover Farmington, more than you ever imagined. Discover farmington-mo.gov allows you to find out more about entertaining, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. And they have details about Blues, Brews, and Barbecues coming up September 20th and 21st. Discover farmington-mo.gov. On Monday, July the 1st, the annual Baby Boomer concert tickets go on sale. I know that people will come and wait. I believe they don't offer the phone or online sales until the people that show up and get their tickets. But wow, what a neat event, and one that almost always sells out in Farmington.
How many shows do they do now?
3 shows. There's a Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and a Saturday night performance. I think Saturday nights is the best just because we've played through everything a few more times. But the afternoon one's becoming more popular too because people don't like to stay up too late.
Now, are you still the MC for that?
Myself and our next guest, Dr. Joe Gilgore, are the MCs.
Joe Gilgore, the official MC of St. Francis County.
Yes. So that's happening on Monday. Now let's talk about 4th of July celebrations, and we'll begin with Bismarck, the Freedom Festival, and this is pretty much a whole day deal. The parade starts at 10 o'clock that morning. Booths and food trucks are allowed to open at 3 o'clock, and then there's live music from 5 to 9, and of course fireworks. And I believe the Bismarck Freedom Fest is the longest running 4th of July celebration in our area.
It has been around for a long, long time.
So that's again coming up on the 4th on Thursday. City of Bonne Terre, it's called Light Up the Sky. It's happening at Bonne Terre City Park on the Raider Junior Football League field. They'll have food and beer starting at 5 o'clock and then fireworks at dusk. Fireworks over Farmington. This happens at Engler Park in Farmington. They'll have food booths there as well. And all of that happens beginning at 6 o'clock.
Been there many a times for the Farmington fireworks display. I don't know if they're changing it around this year, but in years past, people start coming out early. They spread out the blankets, and behind the tennis courts off into an area by where the airfield is, that's where they shoot off the fireworks, and it's pretty impressive.
And again, that happens at dusk on Thursday. Park Hills Sports Complex hosting a fireworks display as well. You can go to the complex starting at 6 o'clock. They'll have a live DJ, and Grandma's Sugar Shack will be there. You thought it was DJ Sugar Shack, didn't you?
I was thinking, yeah.
That's a great name, though. Maybe that's your your new stage name.
That'll be my rap name.
Yeah, DJ Sugar Shack, baby. 6 o'clock, they'll have live music and concessions there as well, and the fireworks display happening there. We always park at the Park Hills Industrial Complex in the parking lot of Raider Mechanical, and we can see directly into the sports complex. The fireworks are great. It's not quite as loud, and we have zero crowds. It's amazing.
You can get in and get out.
Yeah, absolutely. It works out great for us. So those are your local fireworks displays. July 5th on Friday, downtown Farmington Block Party, again presented by Discover Farmington. Scotty Kemp will be performing starting at 7 o'clock.
Really good guitar player. He's played at a lot of area venues, wineries, and like Spokes Pub and Grill and places like that. He'll put on a good show, and it's a very laid-back atmosphere. You will enjoy it. You'll see somebody you know, I'll guarantee you, and you'll make new friends.
Totally free concert happening in downtown Farmington. The Minor Tough Weekend is going to be taking place at St. Joe State Park on July 13th and 14th, and you'll be competing in this, right?
Yeah, right. It involves a run and a bicycle ride. I don't own a bicycle, and the last time I ran, I was being chased by the Bonne Terre bear.
There you go. Minor Tough Weekend, July 13th and 14th. Don't forget about Big River Chautauqua. That's July 25th, 26th, and 27th. And that takes place in Veterans Park, the baseball field behind City Hall in Bonne Terre. This year they have Dwight Eisenhower, Jackie Cochran, and Winston Churchill. I always keep meaning to look up Jackie Cochran, and I never do. I'm going to put you on the spot and see if you have.
I keep meaning to look up Jackie Cochran, and I never do.
We'll have more information next week
on
the
Jackie
Parkland
Cochran.
Podcast. Yes. And then a couple of blood drives we want to throw out there as well. St. Joe Catholic Church is hosting a blood drive on Monday, July the 16th. Memorial United Methodist Church of Farmington has one coming up on Friday, July the 19th. And those are just a couple of blood drives. Oh, wait, July 25th. The Esther United Methodist Church has a blood drive on Thursday, the 25th in Park Hills. So there you go. That's what's happening with your community events page. Again, brought to you by Downtown Farmington. Discover farmington-mo.gov proudly presents Blues, Brews, and Barbecues happening September 20th and 21st.
And by the way, we will have some folks in from Blues, Brews, and Barbecues, or B3 as they like to call it, to give us the details of all the bands. And if they're like some of the bands they've had in years past, this is maybe the show of the year.
Want to talk about Parkland Pharmacy? It's local pharmacy at its finest. 6 locations to serve you in Deloge, Farmington, Fredericktown, Ironton, Piedmont, and Greenville. They're truly a locally owned pharmacy. The owners work in their stores daily. I noticed it on Thursday at the Deloge store when I dropped off the syrup for our skinny syrup for our winner, Robin Boda. Congratulations, Robin, and sorry I didn't have that there sooner. But there's Lisa Umfleet, one of the owners, back there, doing pharmacy stuff. That's what happens at Parkland Pharmacy. That's why they're a perfect fit for all your pharmaceutical needs.
And I can say the same thing for the Farmington location. You'll walk in, you'll see Julie Berghaus or some of the other wonderful people that work there. In fact, as soon as I leave here from recording this podcast, I got to go pick up a prescription. And I know when I get there, I'll be greeted with a smile, and I'll get the great one-on-one service that I like. I like to feel important, like I matter, and I get that every time I go to Parkland Pharmacy.
Very good. And then, of course, the place you went to before you came here to record this morning, Subway of the Parkland. Subway with locations in the Maple Valley Center, Farmington, downtown Park Hills, the Deloge Walmart Supercenter in Deloge. This is the second time, if you're keeping track at home, that Mark Toti has dropped his glasses during the podcast. New to Subway are the new dippers, available with cheese, chicken, or pepperoni for just $3. In addition to the new sidekicks, which consist of the footlong churro, the footlong pretzel, and the footlong cookie. Subway, eat fresh. You talk, I get glasses.
I've had the pretzels before. They're really good. I was eyeballing those dippers when I was there this morning, but I ended up getting a wrap. I got rotisserie chicken and shredded cheese, and and I let's wrap up this podcast so I can go home and eat it. I haven't eaten it.
Oh, you haven't eaten it yet?
No, I got it. I literally got it right before I got here. It's in my refrigerator calling me out. But I also want to send a shout out to Jessica and Heather and Brianna and Courtney. They are the girls that I deal with at Subway in Farmington, and I love them to death. It's worth it. Well, maybe not quite to death, but I do love them quite a bit.
Yes.
It's worth going in there just for them. You know, Jake, Mike, I appreciate you guys a lot, but you know what? They're the faces really of that Subway store, because that's who the customers are going to see day in, day out, and they do a fabulous job for you. I know you're proud of them.
Subway, eat fresh. Time for a quick break. When we come back, Jasen Crump, candidate for St. Francis County Sheriff, our next guest on the Parkland Podcast.
Hello, true Americans. It's your uncle, Uncle Sam, here to tell you about Jerry's Fireworks. Let me be clear, in this election year, the only place you need to go is Jerry's Fireworks. Jerry's Fireworks. Jerry's Fireworks. They're the ones that make your 4th of July party work. Jerry's Fireworks. Jerry's Fireworks. For over 60 years, they've been the fireworks experts. Uncle Sam can't wait for Independence Day to help you save money in a major way. It's called the Pallet Deal, and it's a patriotic meal for your eyes in the sky. Some people say it's a steal. Jerry's Fireworks. Jerry's Fireworks. They're the ones that make your 4th of July party work. Jerry's Fireworks. What? Jerry's Fireworks. Okay. For over 60 years, they've been the fireworks experts. Come see our Superstore location here in Leadington with sea to shining sea selection here for everyone. Jerry's Fireworks is a bastion, open day and night. We've got the largest selection at the lowest price. Jerry's Fireworks. Jerry's Fireworks. They're the ones that make your 4th of July party work. Jerry's Fireworks. Jerry's Fireworks. For over 60 years, they've been the fireworks experts.
We welcome you back to the Parkland Podcast as we continue to speak with the people running for office for St. Francis County Sheriff in the August primary. And we're joined here in the barn today by Jasen Crump. Jasen, thanks so much for taking some time. I know things are real busy for you and everybody running for office right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Jason, and also you, Mark.
Appreciate you being here. How long since you declared for the sheriff's position? And tell us about some of the things you've been doing since then.
I actually declared early. It was probably April or May of last year when I let it known public. And since then, we hit the ground running, tried to attend every event that we could just to get the word out, educate the people, let them know who we are and some of our experiences.
You're no stranger to law enforcement.
That is correct. I'm a third-generation law enforcement. My grandpa was in law enforcement. I don't know the exact years of the capacity at Bonne Terre Police. I had two uncles in law enforcement. My uncle Joe Crump, who retired from the Highway Patrol and then went to work for the Sheriff's Department. I had an uncle Jamie Crump that was a Deloge police officer for years that went on to be a deputy warden for the Department of Corrections and is now with the St. Francis County Prosecutor's Office. And then I have a brother, Donnie, who is a lieutenant with the Highway Patrol.
So when you get together, Crump family reunions, you're talking about baseball and law enforcement, I guess, right?
There's definitely some interesting conversations.
So you talked about declaring last spring, basically. What made you decide now I want to make that move to be sheriff?
It's something that I've wanted for a while, just to grow my career, accept new challenges. I've seen the need in the area for some fresh eyes and to kind of grow the Sheriff's Department into the future. I was going to run last election.
but I just don't think I was prepared mentally to run. So from that day forward, I had sat down and just started really studying the Sheriff's Department and developing a plan that I thought would work, and the timing was just right for this election.
Let's talk about your experiences. Again, you started pretty early, like right out of high school. I believe you had maybe a time when you weren't in law enforcement for a little bit, and then you got back in and you put together a pretty impressive resume.
That is correct. I started shortly out of high school, went to work for the 911 Center as a dispatcher, and I worked there until I went through the police academy in 1997. I attended the Mineral Area College Police Academy. I graduated that same year in 1997, and I went to work for the St. Francis County Sheriff's Department as a deputy in the detention facility. I worked there for a few short months, and got an opportunity to go to work for the Bonne Terre Police Department as a road officer. And so I left the Sheriff's Department and went to Bonne Terre. I worked there as a patrolman and as a detective, and got to work cases from petty theft all the way up to homicide. And in 2002, I was given an opportunity to leave law enforcement and go to work in the private sector in a manufacturing company as a shift supervisor. I had a young family at the time, or a young child, and the money was right, and so I made that leap and done it, and I have no regrets, because that position led me into a management position with the company, and that's where I learned a lot about leadership, scheduling, people management. And in 2009, I had an opportunity. I applied for the St. Genevieve Police Department and accepted a position there as assistant police chief, and have been there ever since, and in 2022 was promoted to chief of police.
St. Francis County has been growing by leaps and bounds over the last 20 or 30 years. With it comes challenges. What are some of the biggest challenges from your standpoint facing St. Francis County?
Right now, the same with any law enforcement. The challenge is manpower and just getting people interested in law enforcement and figuring out how to retain them once you get them here. That's one of the biggest challenges as far as the actual department itself. And then, of course, right now, we're dealing with the drug issue, the same as everywhere else in the United States, and the homeless population that we have to address.
How would you address the homeless, first of all?
The biggest thing is getting to the root of the problem, which I think some of it revolves around substance abuse and mental health issues. And it's definitely nothing that a sheriff can tackle by himself. It's going to be a community effort. So we need to design and develop this team, which is going to have to be law enforcement, social service workers, mental health workers, and community leaders, and develop a plan that works best for this county and try to address that problem.
Let's talk about the drug problem as well. We've seen I want to say maybe different drugs, but kind of the same issue, the dependency issues and what people are going through. What's the plan to try to handle that ever-changing problem?
Yes, because it's definitely been a problem forever. When I first started, we had the methamphetamine crisis. We went through, with the meth labs. I joined the ICE team back then, which was Investigation and Criminal Enforcement, and we specialized in meth labs and taking down meth labs. And now it's just a different crisis. It's the fentanyl and the opiates. So, the biggest challenge is getting the resources to the people that want recovery and starting those early. You talk to these people, and it seems the biggest challenge they have is finding the resources locally. They get in this system, a lot of them don't have driver's licenses for whatever reason, but yet they have to drive to St. Louis to try to find any kind of resources. So if we start offering those locally and try to help the ones that want help, and then just go from there.
We were talking about the growth of St. Francis County and the need for more manpower. A lot of folks may not realize just how big this county is, and if somebody from the northern end of the county calls for help, or the southern end of the county, you got to have guys that got to go a long way in some cases to respond to a call.
The way it's set up now, that is correct. Part of our plan is to sector off the county to where, at a minimum, you would have a north and a south sector, so those responding officers aren't coming from the far south end to try to get to the far north end. And then if you can get the manpower, then we need to look at branching off to at least a third sector for the west end of the county as well.
Okay. Proposition P has been a blessing to the current Sheriff's Department, and I guess whoever ends up winning this. What are your plans for Proposition P funds, and how would you plan on using those?
I've looked through the budget. I've looked at the Proposition P, the money that's coming in. The biggest thing we need to do, it goes back to the recruitment and retention of the officers. I know they were able to add some deputies like they were promised, and they've also given a small raise to the deputies, but it's still nothing close to where they need to be. And if you look at what we're competing against, which would be St. Genevieve County and Jefferson County for the deputies, we have to get the pay up to be able to keep quality deputies in our own county. And so that would be one of the biggest things we would address with the Prop P money initially.
These are problems that are common across the state. It's not just though St. Francis County, is it?
That is correct. It's a problem in law enforcement nationwide.
What can you and other people respected in law enforcement, what can you guys do to encourage younger people to be interested in this? I mean, obviously, money helps, but what are some things that you could tell young people maybe that are interested in law enforcement that might spur them in this direction?
You know, it's a tough sell right now, and the biggest thing is just letting them know the support is there. You have the small population of people that seem to be more vocal, that are negative against law enforcement, and it's just trying to teach the younger generation that there's actually more that support us than are against us. So you can get that word out to them and then let them know that the administration has their backing and aren't leaving them out there on their own. And then, like you said, money is the biggest thing. And when you're competing against private industry that's paying a lot more, it's tough to get them to take on those risks and responsibilities at a lower pay.
Jasen Crump, if you were to win the election, you may have already touched on this too, but what would your top priority be? What would be the first thing you want to do?
The top priority is going to be setting policies and procedures. The way it is now, the Sheriff's Department currently operates with no policies and procedures. So right out of the gate, we're going to start setting, it would have to be like a temporary orders from the sheriff as far as some basic policies and procedures as we develop an entire policy and procedure manual. One, it's going to protect the officers, but it's also going to help lower the liability for the county.
And good for the public, too.
Absolutely.
They know exactly where things stand. How would this information, these policies, I guess they would be public, right?
Policies could be made public. Procedures typically are not made public because of officer safety reasons.
Sure. Okay. And lastly, your last chance in front of our audience anyways, tell the people why they should vote for you for election.
You know, the biggest thing I want people to realize is, you know, this isn't something that was just thought of or me talked into overnight. This is a plan that I have worked on for the last 3 years, studying the Sheriff's Department and developing a plan that I feel will work for this county. The voters also need to realize they're electing a sheriff and not a deputy. So essentially they're picking the CEO of the department. So they need someone that has that experience, is capable of writing a budget, capable of developing these policies and procedures, and hit the ground running and not need on-the-job training.
And before we let you go, tell us about your family, because they're with you on this every step of the way.
Yes, my wife and children have been supportive, and they're actually out with me every day. They're out right now working for me. So, you know, I couldn't do it without them. I'm married for 22 years. I have 4 boys. I have 2 older boys that are currently in the Air Force, one stationed in Japan and one in Hawaii. My 22-year-old is a deputy for St. Genevieve County, and then my youngest, who is 20, is in the nursing program at Mineral Area College.
Very good.
Great. Best of luck to you this election season.
I appreciate it, and I would appreciate everyone's vote on August 6th. And remember, a vote for Crump is a vote for change.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. That's Jasen Crump running for St. Francis County Sheriff, joining us here on the Parkland Podcast. Hey, want to take a minute and talk about the Farmington Water Park and Splash Pad. Did you know the Splash Pad is open every day from 9 to 10:30 in the morning, and it's totally free? Yeah. Who knew, right? Check that out. Water park hours are 11 to 6 daily, and you can have private parties and events in the evening. 4th of July, they have a swim at the water park, and they're also going to be giving away 4-day passes, and they're going to be hidden all throughout the water park. All you have to do is show up in patriotic gear, and you'll be eligible to win. Very affordable, lots of fun. We love taking the family to the Farmington Water Park and Splash Pad. And again, you can check them out. They're open every day, 11 to 6. $8.50 is the price for kids 12 and up. There's a senior discount. Kids 3 to 11 are $7.50 each, and kids 2 and under are free. Farmington Water Park and Splash Pad. Get out and enjoy your summer. Back on the Parkland Podcast, and today we're going to talk all things Mineral Area College with Dr. Joe Gilgore. He is with us here on the Parkland Podcast, joining us in the barn. Thanks so much for coming, Dr. J.
Thanks for having me. This place is amazing.
Yeah, a lot of sports memorabilia. I don't know if there's any Kansas City Royal memorabilia around. Oh, wait, there is. There is. What do you got?
Yeah, there you go.
There's a Royal flag on the ceiling.
Of course there is.
Yes.
There be.
And there's a lot of Chief stuff here, though. There's a lot of Chief stuff.
Yeah.
Those are your two main teams, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't mention another baseball team that you kind of like.
Well, yeah, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, we better not. We want to endure you to all of our.
That'll wrap up this interview.
Right.
On
Later. Hey, all right. Yeah. So, what goes on during the summer for college president? What keeps you busy?
Well, I have great people that do a lot of work, so I have to do less. That's really the role of leadership, right? Find good people to work hard so you don't have to. We do have some great people doing hard work. Summer is a big time for us, getting ready for the fall semester. Enrollment is going strong. I mean, we get a lot of questions as a community college, and a lot of people, because community colleges were kind of born out of high schools back in the day. I mean, 100 years ago. We get a lot of questions about, well, how are you spending your summer? Are you enjoying this time off? It's like, well, we're actually 12 month. I mean, we're there all the time.
Yeah.
Now we have 9 and 10 month contracts, but most of us are there 12 months and working to get the college ready for the semester. So it's a little slower pace at times.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets pretty wild.
I'm sure your maintenance guys like the lesser traffic because that allows them to do the things they can't do during the course of a school year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Getting all of us out of the way. They love that part. Yeah.
What are any kind of projects or anything that's happening over the summer specifically that people might notice when they drive by or go to the campus?
Well, one of the most noticeable projects is lights on our soccer field and our baseball field. There is some work being done right now, and so a lot of our bond issues that we passed, a lot of our projects for that are not really that noticeable at first. They're internal renovations and things that you wouldn't really just drive through see. But the lights will be going up on the soccer field. They're scheduled to be done by August 1 because soccer starts in August, and so that's going to be noticeable right up front. So it's pretty cool.
So the two things I have heard the most about when it comes to Mineral Area College over the last 3 months is all the things that are happening at the Industry and Technology Center. And I know we're going to get into that, but the other thing, and maybe the most talked about thing, involves the coaching changes with the basketball teams.
Yeah, we had some big news in basketball coaches over the past 12 months. Really, we've cycled through a couple of men's coaches now, we had Coach Greg Heyer here for a season, and he's moved on, and we knew that was probably going to happen. I mean, he's a nationally known coach. He's been to the big stage, and we knew it wouldn't be long till he moved on to something else, and we're lucky to have him. He had a great season. They had a tremendous season. So, but then picking up Tony Irons Jr. out of St. Louis, amazing pickup for us. I mean, Tony is looking to get into the college level of coaching. He's been doing high school coaching. He's won 7 straight national or state titles, something like this.
Very successful.
His connections and what he can do. He's a great coach, and we're really looking forward to seeing what he can do. I think that with Greg was a high. We really loved his coaching and what he did. We feel like we're not going to maybe miss a beat with Tony coming in and picking that up. So excited about that. Of course, really tough news losing Bradley Palmer to SEMO. We're happy for her. So happy for Bradley. And that's such a big deal. And she's just been such a big part of MAC for her life, really. I mean, she's been around for assistant coach for a while, playing at MAC and just being a part of our family. And she still is, of course. We still obviously include her in that, but we're really happy for her to leave. So Carrie Shepard coming in. Carrie was the assistant last year for Briley and knows the system. Is a great coach. Played at a pretty high level herself. And so we're really excited to see where it's going to be. It's going to be kind of a different look for our basketball program this year, and we're optimistic.
I think it's one of the cool aspects about having Briley going to Southeast Missouri State is it also helps to promote Mineral Area College because people are going to see, wow, this MAC coach is now a D1 coach. There must be something going on there.
Exactly, and that's Bradley called me and to tell me the news, and she's like, I'm sorry, I've got to take this. I was like, don't be sorry. This is an amazing opportunity for you, and like you said, this makes MAC look good. I think we're producing a D1 coach. That's awesome, and so I think that it's really good all around, and I think that we're really happy for her. She'll be down there. I think she's going to have a lot of success. process, and it's cool that she's close. You know, I mean, she could have went someplace across the country and we'd never get to see a game. Now we can just drive down to Cape and watch her play or watch her coach, and I think she'll come up and support Coach Shep and be a part of the program a little bit there too.
And she can go take some selfies in front of the new MAC campus there and give you a little side promotion too.
That's right. You know, we are in Cape Girardeau, and it's growing pretty fast. So we're still around here somewhere.
Yes, always there. Let's talk about the Career Tech Center now. Beautiful building, can't miss it. As you pull in from the main entrance from Leadington, it's there on your right. And apparently, what you built wasn't big enough. You've already added on to it as well. Tell us about that.
Well, we did some studies back in 2020, 2021 on what kind of capacity we needed for programs, how big the building should be. We really wanted 100,000 square feet originally, and then once we started looking at it, it seemed like the programs we were going to start could really fit into the 80,000 square feet. So that's the first road that we did. But part of that building was funded through a grant in Missouri called the Mo Excels grant. It's really Governor Parsons' kind of personal grant, really. He gets to decide where they go, and so it's a big funding from that. Well, every year we put in, so we decided to have that building built where it could be expanded onto if needed. The next Mo Excels grant, we did automotive tech, which starts this fall, and so that's the expansion that's on. So now the building's 100,000 square feet. We probably won't expand it anymore, but it doesn't mean we won't add more buildings around it. You know, we did welding and HVAC on the other side a few years ago, and that's really successful. We have auto body is in demand. People want us to do that program, so it's possible we see that kind of on the other side of the parking lot from auto tech. But it's an amazing building. I never get tired of hearing things about it, and people drive through or people hear about it throughout the state when I talk to them and how impressed they are, and walking around it, just going inside of it's massive. I mean, it's just, you think about how big 100,000 square feet is, and it's unbelievable. You get a lot of steps going in there, I guess to say.
Are you getting calls from other schools, not just in Missouri, but across the country, saying, how'd you do this? What was your thought process? Maybe using MAC as a blueprint for something they might do?
Somewhat. Inside Missouri, everybody had access to the Mo Excels grants. And so those, since they were Parsons' project, they really went towards workforce development. So not much of a surprise in Missouri. I mean, everybody kind of aware how this works. Now, what we put in there, how we built the building, those type of things, there's been a lot of questions because not everybody's buildings are the same. There's a lot of things that have gone up in Missouri the past few years that look a lot different from each other. And so now outside that, it's more really how that funding comes about. I mean, we had several funding sources that helped us with that building and really kind of the programs that are in it. So a lot of interest in it. You know, we've tried to be pretty healthy in the promotion, a lot of social media and getting word out about it so people know that it's there. And like you said, driving through campus, it's that right side of the road in the past 5 years looks completely different than 5 years ago. And so we're pretty proud of that, and you can't miss it.
Announcement coming that Scott Lamb has joined Mineral Area College to serve as the new Vice President of Operations. Tell us about Scott and his role with the college.
Yeah, so we another, you talk about pickups on the coaching side. This is a great pickup for us as well. So I haven't talked to Annette Schnabel from BJC Parkland, but I'm sure she's probably not happy with me because that's where he came from. But so I was at a board meeting, and Scott was doing a presentation on efficiencies. He was anyway from HVAC all the way to workplace accidents, and it was this really great report. And I remember sitting there in this board, because I'm on the hospital board too, and I was sitting there thinking, that's the kind of reports we need. We need to know this information. We need to dive into the efficiency of our systems, and then we have all these projects coming up that are just on the bond. They're massive. And so I went to Scott and I said, hey, just tell me about your job. I want to build a job that's similar to what you do. It really wasn't a recruiting effort. I just wanted to pick his brain on it. So he kind of helped me out, told me some things he does. We built a job description on it and posted it. And then I see that he applied. And it's like, okay, well, that's sure, that's great.
I guess you understand what this entails.
Yeah, so that's you probably get the job, I guess. But yeah, it was great. We did have some other good candidates as well, some applicants. But Scott really stood apart with 25 years of project management experience, public safety as well as workplace safety, OSHA standards, things like this that we do, of course. course, but having a single point person for those things is super important. So there's consistency and knowing what's going on. And then the projects that are coming up they're so big that it's just, we really need somebody focused on those things specifically.
So Dr. Gilgore, you talked about the right side of the campus and all the changes that have come there. On the left side, there's a lot of open space there. How do you balance out keeping some of that beautiful greenery out there and then building on? There's some tough decisions there.
Well, when we were looking for the ITC, where it was going to go, we did some studies of our land. On the left side of the road that wraps around in between Highway 67 and the campus, there are apparently several sinkholes. That are under there somewhere.
Okay.
And we've got a lot of water that runs through.
Yeah.
So, engineers at the time were saying, really put it over here. It's kind of on a hill where it's at now, which we had to divert some water from there too. But we're always looking for those opportunities. We have a fantastic disc golf course on the other side, which, is, according to the disc golfers, it's one of the best they play on, they say. So,
cool.
I had nothing to do with it. It was been there for a while, but it's nice. I love the green space. I like trees. I like having that. So when we did the ITC, we had to clear off a lot of trees, and I really hate losing them. But for this cause, we felt like it was okay. But we're still keeping a lot. We got about 250 acres total at MAC, and so there will always be a lot of green space, especially because some of it we just really can't build on. From just looking at it, you can't tell there's anything wrong with it. Of course, the sinkholes aren't. The ground's not falling in anywhere, but just not something you want to put a building on.
So you mentioned lights for the soccer field, for the baseball field. What other improvements are included in the bond issue that folks are going to start seeing in the future?
Well, the biggest one that people are going to see is that we're converting the entire campus to solar power.
Okay.
And so they're going to see that because the panels will go in and they will be big, and you drive by solar fields, it's noticeable. Really, probably on that. Let's see, that's the west side of the Arts and Sciences building, and between that and 67, there's a lot of land there. Of course, disc golf comes through. They may have to relocate a couple of things, but that's where the majority of the panels are going to be. Some buildings will have them on the roofs. We're working with Toth and Associates out of Springfield, Missouri, engineers to tell us the best place to put these things for efficiency. One idea was to put them on the other side of the baseball field, out, kind of in our field out there that nobody would see them, but the run of power to the buildings, you'd lose some efficiency, and it would cost a lot more doing that. And they noted that anybody watching soccer would probably have glaring panels right there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's hot enough out there as it is. They don't need that. But that's the biggest, most visible project that we're in the middle of getting started. We should have RFPs out in July, and then have a vendor probably start some work in September. Now, from what I know, which I'm learning a lot about solar panels now, but what I know is that when you see the solar panels, it's still probably months until they're actually generating anything. There's a lot of underground and inside work that has to be done. The panels are kind of the most visible up front thing, but there's a lot of cabling and wiring and all kinds of things that have to go into work. So they'll see them, but they probably won't be as functional until a little later down, early next year, probably in 25.
From the standpoint of somebody who went to a number of MAC basketball games this year, is there going to be any additional parking added on the campus?
We are talking about that too. So our parking is an issue already at the ITC. That's something that we've ran out of already, which automotive is going to bring more parking in. But yeah, at the gym, you have to park a long ways away sometimes to get to the building, and even the close spots aren't that close.
Yeah.
So we are looking at a parking lot right off the MAC store, which would be good for the MAC store, of course. But also it's probably going to be heavy booster parking during games. We've ran out of booster parking, which is a good problem to have. But it would be open any other time for people to park there. And so we're looking at that parking lot, a couple of other expansions where we can.
What about the farm in Fredericktown? I believe that was part of the bond issue as well, right?
Yeah, so one of those Mo-Excels grants I mentioned earlier, our Mo-Excels grant for fiscal year 25, I guess, the one we just got, is to start an animal science farm management program, have a working farm that college students and high school students would work together on and kind of just operate this farm. A lot of people are going to this. We've seen it other places. Mizzou's been doing this for years, of course, and then Three Rivers has one. State Fair Community College is starting one. There's some others others that are doing the same thing. So, our hope was to have some land in Fredericktown. We have not had the land identified yet. That program starts in the fall of 25. So probably this fall in 24, early 25, we'll hire an instructor to try to get the program started. The grant has everything you need for a farm in it, except for land and animals. So if you don't need those two things, it's a great farm.
Yeah.
Virtual farming.
Right, yeah. This is good on Minecraft. It'll be fine.
So we're looking at a couple different spots. Some people have reached out to us about some land. We'd love 100 acres. And Fredericktown was kind of the idea of having that campus be our hub for our ag program. Like that's where the instructor would be, kind of be the centralized location on it. And it may or may not be. It really depends on where the land is. We need to be close to that. We've had a few options in Madison County, and then a couple in St. Francis County come up that we'll just kind of see how it goes.
Okay, my final question is, how many national champions are we going to have at the college this year?
Well, with cross country, we've actually had a couple in the last 5 years. Our first national titles back-to-back was men's cross country, and so Coach Steve Davis gets close every year in track and cross country to having national titles. He's been runner-up a couple of years. So I don't want to jinx anything, but I think that we're going to be definitely competitive there. We'd love to make a run in basketball and see some improvement there as well, of course, with new coaches coming in. And then soccer has been drastically improving. I mean, they haven't really been bad ever, but the first year, of course, was a little rough. Of course, that was a COVID year. Everything was delayed. We lost a lot of players in the process. But if you take that year out, soccer's been really an impressive program, and they've been on just the verge of greatness. A couple of times they've been ranked in the top 10 in the nation. They lost on a PKs last year in the men. The women lost on a handball and by the goal. I'm not a real soccer guy, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And handball. So very close. And so we've got a great coaching staff, and so we feel like there's going to be some at least highly competitive games.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the volleyball team.
Absolutely, volleyball went to the national tournament last year, and didn't perform as well as they hoped they would there. But man, they went on a run. They winning the region and then the conference up in Iowa or the district. Sorry, and that was cool. That was neat to go out and see them play in Hutch. And Coach Copeland has been around for a long time, knows what he's doing, and we're excited about that too. I think that there's always a lot of potential. We were talking off the air earlier. I'm a Kansas City Royals fan, so there's been several years before the Royals season started that we knew there was no potential. This is it. Spring training is the best we're going to get. At MAC Athletics, every year going into it, there's always a chance because these teams are quality leadership in our athletic program, and the coaches are really good.
And golf too. Can't leave golf out. They've also had some success.
They've been in the national tournament as well. And so Coach Mapes doing wonderful there. This may surprise you. You don't know this, but in the ITC, they actually have a golf simulator in the ITC. So it's technical programs, but there's actually a room where the golf simulator is.
Who teaches that?
It's Coach Mapes has it, and
Coach Mapes teaches virtual golf.
They will not let me in there. So,
and is Jim Gerwitz still the reigning coach of the year in junior college?
He's not. They announced a new one this last spring. He was the athletic director of the year 2 years ago, and just that's an incredible honor nationwide to be the athletic director of the year. That's pretty cool for Jim and pretty cool for the Mineral Area College. But he did. His reign is over, but maybe he'll get it again someday.
You never know. Anything else we need to throw out there about the college before we let you go?
I don't know what your listeners, if they have college experience, college credits, have kids in college.
We have a very educated audience.
I'm sure.
Highly educated.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes.
So they know the value then of community college education. We're the most affordable education anybody in the Parkland can find. You cannot go to another college university in Missouri and get more affordable tuition than you can at MAC. And it's high quality education, great instructors, great programs. And we're starting to see that. Enrollment was up 10% this last year. We're currently up 12% for the fall, going into the fall. So I don't want to jinx that either, but that's a sign that people are really seeing the value of what's in their backyard. And you can stay right here and get that education.
Very good.
All right. Very good. Always appreciate your time. mineralarea.edu is the website. Oh, one last thing. You're going to be doing the moderating of the sheriff's, what's the word I'm looking for, Mark? Forum. Yes. Thank you very much. Again, we're highly educated. The forum for the Park Hills Leadington Chamber of Commerce coming up in a couple of weeks. Right. Are you nervous about being around that many law enforcement types, or has that all fallen off your record?
I'm not sure what you're implying here, but I believe my record is clean now.
Okay, good.
And so that's going to be fun. We have four candidates, I believe.
Yes.
Last I checked, and so all good people, and it's going to be interesting to see what they say and be a part of this process. I think elections that are non-contested are we need to see some action sometimes and see what's out there, and I think this is going to be great. It's got a lot of experience on that stage that night. These are four guys that are committed to safety, and they know what they're doing, I think. So it's going to be a good time.
And we'll see who comes out the victor in the ballot box coming up on August the 6th.
Right.
Always good to see you, sir. We'll see you at the Baby Boomer concert, if not sooner.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
And best of luck with everything there at Mineral Area College.
Thank you.
Dr. Joe Gilgore, President, Mineral Area College, joining us here on the Parkland Podcast. Hey, let's check sports now on the Parkland Podcast. The softball season has come to an end for the Ducks. They had a split in a doubleheader, played Thursday night, winning the first game 1-0, and then falling 3-2 in game 2. So the season is over for Lucy and the Ducks, but what a year.
No truth to the rumor. Can you confirm or deny that she is going to file for free agency and look for a multi-year contract paying big dollars?
We can't comment on that at this time.
As her agent and father?
As her agent, yes. I can neither confirm nor deny those accusations.
Well, Lucy, we appreciate all the fun you've given us on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it again next year. Cardinals, again, getting better. Now starting to increase their lead as the second team in the National League Central. Still Milwaukee, still above them in the standings, but they're pretty much locked in now, possibly at that second wild card spot with the Braves, a team they just took 2 or 3 from, just ahead of them.
Well, I think that has more to do with the inadequacies of the NL Central Division than it does with the skill of the Cardinals. But I will tell you, Burleson and Brendan Donovan have become 2 of my favorite players because they hustle and they hit.
Oh, Burley's great. He's going to be a fan favorite for a long time, I think.
And Brendan Donovan already is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, the Cardinals in a decent playoff position. We'll see how things progress as we get closer to the All-Star game. I remember as a kid, the All-Star game was a huge deal. I don't think it is anymore. Was the All-Star game a huge deal for you as a kid, too?
Oh, it was a very big deal. I never missed it. I might tune in for an inning or two this year, but when I was a kid, it was, and you wanted as many Cardinals on that team as you possibly could, and at least 3 or 4 Cardinals got gypped out of being on the team because you knew they were better than the first baseman or second baseman from the other team. I don't care if it was Babe Ruth on the other side. The Cardinals guy was better.
Do you have who do you think the Cardinals All-Star selection should be this year?
Well, I think you got to go with Helsley, the relief pitcher.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He's
start things off. And other than that, I don't know.
I mean, Mason Wynn's having a great year, but there are a lot of really good shortstops, too. That's a tough position.
The one thing that would get Mason Wynn on the team is the fact that he's doing it as a rookie.
Yeah, and then Sonny Gray, possibility?
Sonny Gray, I think, definitely deserves a spot on the team.
There's a possibility. I think Alec Burleson, if those numbers continue to go in that direction, could be a guy, maybe a late ad.
Well, the only problem with Alec Burleson is he's more of a month of June into early July kind of guy. April and May,
not so good.
Not as much. Same thing with Brendan Donovan. They've got some guys that are coming on, but they haven't done it the whole year, and there's just a lot of talent out there.
There you go. That's your latest on the Cardinals. Switching locally, congratulations to Ron McRaven, named the new Potosi Trojans baseball coach. So congratulations to him.
Congratulations to him, and just a reminder that we're into July now, and that can only mean summer camps. We've got football camps coming up toward the end of this month, and I'm sure there's going to be tennis camps and volleyball camps and even band camps will be taking place. And that means in another month or so, our local sports segment, which has been heavily dependent on Miss Lucy's softball team. It's going to get a lot bigger as we visit with area coaches and maybe some of the standout athletes.
Yeah, looking forward to that as we get a little closer to the start of high school sports season, and we'll do our best to keep you up to date with what's happening here on the Parkland podcast. Let's do cool song and album recommendations. Go ahead and start us off, Mark, with your song. What's a cool song you want to throw out there today?
Song I heard this morning on the way over to record the podcast, going back to about 1982, a gentleman by the name of Chris DeBerg. The song, Don't Pay the Ferryman.
Oh, yeah.
Great tune. That's my song for this week. Hadn't heard it in a while. It was great to hear. And my album, which I brought in, going back to the late 1970s, Who Are You? From The Who. It's got the great title tune, Who Are You? Who? But it's also got, by the way, that's as close as you'll ever get me to sing on a podcast. Sister Disco is on there, which is a great song. Guitar and Pen, Trick of the Light, all really good songs. The Music Must Change. Every song on this album is very, very good and worth a listen.
That is one of two songs that I know of with a curse word in it that is not
just a
bleeped
curse
out. Word. Yeah, it's the granddaddy.
It's the big one.
And it's never bleeped out like anywhere. Anytime you hear it, like being in an elevator at Walmart and that song comes on, hey, listen up, kids. The F word's about ready to happen.
But it's such a good song.
Yeah, it is, but I've always wondered why that's never been edited. And the only other one I can think of, and every once in a while I do hear it edited, is Pink Floyd's Money.
And that usually good.
Yeah, that one usually slips out there too.
Yeah, it depends on if you're listening to album-oriented rock stations or pop stations.
Yeah, but that one always slips through. So we got your album and we got your song. Song-wise, I'm going to go with Little River Band's 1976 hit, It's a Long Way There. What a cool track from them. And Midwest Mixtapes has an interview coming with members of the Little River Band. So if you're a fan of that band, I definitely encourage you to check that out right here on the Barn Network. And then as far as albums go, I'm going to go with 1990's Flood by They Might Be Giants. This is the album that has Istanbul's Constantinople, Particle Man, Build a Little Birdhouse in Your Soul. My sons love They Might Be Giants. They've just gotten into them. They're listening to them all the time. And I'm like, okay, guys, we got to listen to Flood. That's one of the best albums of all time.
And while we're giving shout outs to different folks, we want to say thanks again to Chad for letting us be here in the barn. We've had a lot of compliments over the past couple of weeks. They see the background that we have here in the barn and they're going like, that place is cool. They can't believe it's right here in Farmington, and they want to know if they can come and just take a look. And Chad says, yeah,
anytime,
come on by. He'd love to have you here to show you what he's got. If you want to bring a little piece of memorabilia that he could put up in the barn, I think you just brought in a Jasen Isringhausen bobblehead, right?
Yes. Well, because I slammed the door a couple weeks ago and Scott Rowland fell off and broke his Gold Glove arm, so I had to, make amends.
It's a make good. But Chad, thank you so much. He does a lot of podcasting out here as well, including the Parkland podcast.
Yeah, check them all out. The Barn is the network and very diverse and cover a lot of different neat areas. All right, Facebook question of the week. We asked you this past week, who would win a fight between the St. Francis County Bear and the Bonne Terre Gator?
It's not a fair fight. You got a little baby gator and a big old massive bear. Of course, the county bear is going to win. I asked on there, what if it was a 5 or 6 foot alligator? Would that even it up?
Yeah, and I think it would. I really do. And thanks to AI for the picture and Corey Warner, our official AI image generator.
So what were the overall results?
If I were to treat it as a poll, I would say probably 85 to 90% bear and about 10 to 15% gator. So that's probably where it stands. So I'm going to do a drawing. We're going to see with the random name generator who of our commenters gets a free bottle of Skinny Syrup, courtesy of Parkland Pharmacy. And our winner is Michelle Minley. Congratulations to Michelle.
Michelle, thank you so much for being being a part of the Parkland podcast. We hope you are doing well, and congratulations on your win, and thanks to Parkland Pharmacy.
Yeah, so we'll get in touch with you, Michelle, and find out which pharmacy location of Parkland Pharmacy is the best to pick up your skinny syrup. Got another poll question, and this one is from one of our listeners that we're going to put out there this coming week. We'll go ahead and we'll give you a preview right now on the Parkland podcast before we release it.
This comes from Julie Powers. We just had the big presidential debate. We won't get into who you think won or lost because everybody definitely has their opinion.
Yeah.
But our question of the week is, regardless of the results, will you be willing to accept the results of the 2024 presidential election? Maybe one of the most controversial in the history of our country, or most talked about, I should say.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see. So that'll be the question. Will you accept the results? Not will you accept this candidate winning or this candidate losing. Will you accept the results of the 2024 election? Thank you, Julie, for that. And if anybody has a good idea for
we're open to suggestions.
Oh, absolutely. Segments. Again, also get those birthdays to us, anniversaries. We'd love to get that information out to you. Hit us up on the Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you follow, and do all those kind of things.
By the way, something I forgot during the birthday segment, I'm going to throw it in right now. This past week, it got called into me too late to get it on last week's, but last Friday, I think it was, Jasen Garner.
Hey, Jasen Garner, yes.
Yeah, he turned the big 5-0. He looks much younger than that, but we think that's because his childlike bride, Heather, makes him look that much younger by comparison. Right. Jasen is a 3-time Lutheran of the Year at St. Paul Lutheran Church. Wow. Would have been a 4-time winner, but there was that one controversy involving the communion wine that we don't want to really get into. But happy birthday, belated birthday to you, Jasen, from your wife and your kids and your mom and your family.
All right, there you go. Happy belated birthday, Jasen Garner of Farmington. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Parkland Podcast. Tune in next week for Tim Harris, St. Francis County Sheriff candidate. That will wrap up our previews for that election. And then the following week, episode 7, which is scheduled to drop July 15th, our political extravaganza, as we team up with the Deloge Chamber of Commerce to cover all those contested races. Mark, any big plans for the 4th of July? What are you going to do?
I don't really know. Probably go to Farmington, watch a little bit of the fireworks display there. I know I've got invited to a party during the course of the day. I'll be doing that. And then depending on my energy level, I'll probably go watch a little 4th of July fireworks.
Okay, very good. We're going to be in the pool. I know my brother has a party. We're going to have a little get-together at the in-laws. We're probably going to slip over, watch the Park Hills display. And then I believe we're off to Indiana for the weekend after that. So that's going to be a lot of fun, too.
Nice. It's going to be a great summer for all of us.
All right. Have a great 4th of July. We'll see you next week.